One of the verses that was read said, the years of our life are 80. 10. Yeah, 10. 80 is 60 and 10 is 70. So, if by reason of strength, those of us who exercise, who eat right, who look after our body, it gets to 80, you can see it now, it becomes 80. But I can see that you have you beat that standard hands down. The reason is that there are 2 time limits God set. After Noah's flood, he now reduced man's lifespan to 120. 120. We used to live up to 1,900 and something before then. Then later, David brought in, by revelation, this one, where he pegged it around 70 to 80. This one seems to be dominating the 120. There are few people who, through careful application of the laws of health, are pushing the boundary all the way to 120. Some 100 and above. Some, there are cases of those who have even lived 122, 127. So what we see is that 7 p.m. is when God's evening starts. That's 70. 120 is his midnight. Anybody that goes from 70 to 120 has done well. I know that we are in the last days. The only thing that encourages me, if Jesus tarries, to stay longer here on earth, is so that I can help to pass the torch down, mentor the next generation that will take this mantle of the gospel around the world. I know that that's part of my assignment. I know that. So when I look at people like you, I know that what God said to Noah, the 120, is very, very possible. Because this is 85, and you look like 65. But there's a verse here that said, teach us to number our years. Please put it, that verse. Yeah, teach us to number, that's verse 12. And that's teach us to number our days that we may apply our hearts to wisdom. People who do this live wisely. Every extra day that we have, we should be grateful for it. I don't take the gift of life for granted. I pray before I get into a car to travel. I pray before I get in the aircraft. But whenever we land, I don't forget to tell God, thank you. Whenever I sleep and wake up. Of course, if there is something in my mouth that I say, the type of prayer I say, more than every other type of prayer, is always, Lord, thank you, thank you, thank you. I might be taking my bath, I might be doing something, and the thing just keeps, because if life has not dealt to you the wrong side of it, you won't learn to be grateful. When people see us, they just think it's only, success story. We've also faced our own trials. But God's faithfulness has kept us here. Go back to verse 10. I think I need to make that point, The years of our life are 80 years and 10. By reason of strength, there are 80 years. That's 80. Yet is their strength, labor, and sorrow. For soon it is cut off and we fly away. this so-called 80 years, this so-called 120, vanishes just like that. Inside me, I'm still that young boy that started Dominion City. But that's not what my physical body tells me. Sometimes I now want to do some things and my body tells me, Oga. This place said, we spent 80 years. But it's filled with labor and sorrow. It's not only good times. Life is not a bed of roses. If you hear ministers of the gospel who make it look like it's only, your relationship with God only provides you only summer, that person has deceived you, because there are 4 seasons of life. Life starts as spring and it's beautiful. When I watch children today, sometimes I wish I can remove 20 years and go back. I have gained so much wisdom now. I wish I can go back. I know how to do things better. But I wish God can dash me back 20 more years. That's 20 years. Just withdraw the hand of the crop, move it backward and rewind it. I've enjoyed my spring, your childhood years. Your springtime is your morning time. It's beautiful. That's why when I see children, I encourage them. Just enjoy, play, do whatever. Just don't be too stupid. Then after the spring, summer hits. That's your youthful years. And there are 7 things you're supposed to do with each of these 4 seasons. For example, the season of spring is a season of growth and development. But it's not only physical growth, eating food and growing. And then, sometimes when you travel for a while, you come back, you see that this boy is growing, he's adding height. It's not just that. It's growth in all the 5 dimensions of life. Luke chapter 2 verse 52. Show it to them. There are 4 dimensions of growth that must happen within that first stage. God had a son. He put him here on earth and raised him. And with him, he set the example of what he wants to do with every son and daughter of his. What God did with Jesus is a pattern for what he wants to do with all of us. So as a child, this was at the age of 12, the Bible said Jesus increased in wisdom, in stature, in favor with God and favor with man. 4 dimensions of growth and development. Do you know the first one mentioned here? I thought if I'm the one writing, I will start with increase in spiritual development. He even mentioned that as a thought. The first one mentioned there is increase in wisdom. That's intellectual development, education. Whether formal or informal, it's the stage of learning and growth. Second, the child grew in stature. That's physical development. There are some of the things we do at this foundational stage that later haunt us. We abuse our bodies, do all kinds of things, and later we don't live long enough. We start reaping the harvest of what we sowed. The third, he grew in favor with God. That is spiritual development. Spiritual and moral development. And finally, he grew in favor with man. That's the social development, relational development, the aspect of social skills, and so on. Developing emotional intelligence, social skills, and all of that to be able to deal with your fellow human beings. Jesus did not only develop his spiritual life, he has to develop an all-round personality. Then in the second phase of life, which is summer, which is your afternoon, your youthful stage, Jesus added the 5th side of development, which is economic development. He went into business. He was into furnitures. He was into interior decor. Of course, if you want to go local, he was a carpenter. And all this happened in that second stage. Finally, he got to a period at the age of 30, he went into ministry and began to fulfill his destiny. So if you are in the second phase, you are in your afternoon, you are in your youthful stage, steward it very well. If you do what you're supposed to do with the primary stage, the spring, you will have gained the knowledge, the skills, and the capacity to go in and begin to create wealth. You know, I'm telling you that life is not just smooth. Just like the ground is not smooth. There are ups and downs. There are valleys and mountains. Your walk with God must be able to survive all seasons. God is not only the God of the mountain, he's also God of the valley. You trust God not only for the good times, you also trust him in the bad times. And at the end of the day, you will have the result of victory. But if you are the type that is only a fair weather Christian, you walk with God when things are going well, when everything looks rosy, when he's blessing you, when it looks like dry season come, you pull away, run away from your faith, then you don't understand your Christian walk. You don't understand.